And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone you're in. I know I sound much different than I usually am. My optimism is there, but in, in light of the news, I can't help but feel kind of bittersweet and a little bit of melancholy. I think that's pretty appropriate. I'm not doing this video just because everybody else is doing this. I'm not doing this for the likes or the comments or subscribers because I feel like the people who actually did this, like this tribute video to obviously the guy who created this series, I, yeah, I'm kind of like everyone else. This guy defined, and you probably heard it in play videos like Tyrone, Chibi Reviews, which is, I was kind of surprised he did a tribute video, but I wanted to do one because, I actually did grow up watching his shows. I mean, this defined, in terms of anime, this one defined my series. And of course, I'm talking about Akira Toriyama. I am not the only video that has done a tribute video. I've seen pretty much a multitude of hundreds to, let's just say, 20 plus tribute videos to Akira Toriyama. And I get that. He was kind of the OG of anime. And I'll explain why. So here is what we're going to do differently. Because I am going to do streaming today. I thought today was going to be today. Well, I thought today was going to be tentative. But yeah, I think this is appropriate. And we're going to start with this video. And then we're going to do our normal kind of streaming. But I'm going to do something different. But I have to talk about Akira Toriyama. Toriyama. Gosh, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. You know how I found out? I think I was watching Tyrone McManus, or you know what? I don't know if I even pronounce his last name right. Let's just say Tyrone. And I also watched a video of Chibi Reviews talking about Akira Toriyama. So here's part one of this video. Obviously, this is a tribute to Toriyama for the work that he did. So Akira Toriyama, I'm reading this from Wikipedia because it's my go-to source to kind of give you, it's not going to be the facts, it's Wikipedia. It's not going to be accurate. But it gives us a general consensus of what he's done. So Akira Toriyama was a Japanese manga artist and character designer. He first achieved mainstream recognition for creating the popular manga series Dr. Slump before going to create Dragon Ball, his most notable work. Can't disagree with that. I mean, clearly with the game, mobile series, and the list goes on. And acting as a character designer for several popular video games such as Dragon Quest series, which I played a good chunk of them, and I know those series, and I played a good chunk of Dragon Quest. Notably finished Dragon Quest, I think it was 7, and I had Dragon Quest Heroes and 11, I think. Chrono Trigger and Blue Dragon. Toriyama is regarded as one of the authors who changed the history of manga as his works are highly influential and popular, particularly Dragon Ball, which many manga artists cite as a source of inspiration. I can't disagree. Now, we're moving on to, and to finish part 1 off, he was born on April 5th of 1955, and he was born in, I know I'm going to butcher it, in Kyushu Aichi, Japan. And he died last week on March 1st of 2024. I didn't even know he was actually... I didn't know. I did not know that he passed last week. I think we all just found out. Or we knew he was in... Maybe some people knew he was in Critical Care. I'm guessing close friends and families. And then his company that he worked for decided to make it public. But still... The guy went out on a high. I will admit. He was in the high of his work, and he left a legacy. I will say that. He left a legacy in terms of the manga and the anime community. You can't deny that. Okay, so now let's talk about part 2. Alright, so part 2 about Akira Toriyama, I'll talk about my personal history with it, or his series. So pretty much my start of pretty much how I know about Akira Toriyama is, of course, Dragon Ball. My first official media from Akira Toriyama was, of course, like anybody back in the day in my teenage years, it was going to be obviously Dragon Ball Z. I didn't start with Dragon Ball, but I did watch Dragon Ball just to get a sense of the series of what it was like before. Yeah, before I got to Dragon, or after I finished Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z defined a lot of my... And I'm just going to do this.
Select your fighter.
Yeah, this is what Akira Toriyama... Sorry, man. Akira Toriyama. This is the characters he created. Or he was just responsible for creating. I don't think he created all the characters, but his design was used for all these character designs. The guy had a talent, and you could tell. All his character designs were distinctive, unique, fresh. And that's why we all love Dragon Ball Z. It was kind of like outside of Pokemon back in, like, you know, those time frame when I was a teenager or like young. Pokemon was kind of our to-go anime series, but it was a cartoon. But Dragon Ball Z was the anime. Like, before you got into deep anime like Code Geass and or just got to the hype of Attack on Titans, and before you even got there, you all started with either Yu Yu Hakusho or you started with Dragon Ball Z. But Dragon Ball Z was just that mainstream anime that you talked about your friends back in the teenage years. And that's what I started with. I remember where I started with his very, very first episode. Yes, you could say it was slow, but I liked the slow pacing and waited till, like, I guess, Saturday cartoons. I just love going to, like, next time on Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, back in those days, and you know what I'm talking about if you grew up at that time, or let's just say you're a lover of retro anime like that. Yeah, you just went back in those cartoons. His animation was just distinctive. It just wasn't done before. It might look dated back then, but you can't deny his anime style was just kind of like, it was groundbreaking back then compared to like new anime in this sense. But it's because it was so different compared to most 90s, early 2000 anime. We just didn't have anything that fleshed out. The storytelling was extremely well done in terms of Akira, largely because of Akira Toriyama's character design. You have so many memes from Dragon Ball Z because of their gear. Goku's ki, which I'll show you his original one. Let's see if I can actually get to it. Yeah. That's what we were used to. That was his go-to outfit. I don't know if he had the symbol in the very, very first episode, but don't quote me on that. But it's because of that, it was just like spiky hair. You weren't expecting that, how ridiculous his hairstyle is. But it grew on you over the years, and you couldn't see Goku without spiky hair. Or you have designs like Vegeta, which is iconic too. And the list goes on, like Kid Buu. And then when we got to pretty much Planet Namek, you know the series was going to go pretty much past that. You knew it was going to be groundbreaking. You knew it was going places. When we saw Goku went Super Saiyan, and it's so... Everybody did so many memes back then. The internet went crazy when Goku went Super Saiyan because it was so outlandish, so ridiculous, it worked. And it's just because if you were basically a teenager and you already loved Dragon Ball Z back then when you first started, your mind got blown when you saw Goku went Super Saiyan because of the delivery, the voice acting, the animation. Thank you, Toriyama. You were just so hyped of when he went Super Saiyan because you felt that raw emotion, and it helped with Sean just delivering a very kind of like Oscar-worthy performance just the first time around. but it wouldn't have been iconic without Akira Toriyama's like the animation back in the time. He put his heart and passion and love in it. You could tell that he had fun doing the animation on that, and that's why we love Dragon Ball Z series. Why it holds a very certain nostalgic value back then, because it pushed the envelope of what anime could achieve back then. That's what kind of drew people into anime. That is exactly what drew them. So apart from that, he didn't stop. And then he went back to his roots when they did Dragon Ball Super. Yes, I am very much aware about the production values and some like dip in the quality that was not going to be like classic Akira Toriyama. It wasn't going to be like his crowning achievement from Dragon Ball Z. And I guess you could consider Dragon Ball because he hit his high. But you can't deny that when Super got, as the years went on and Super finished, you can't deny that the animation got better, the story seems like it got better too, and the direction it was going with the art direction was fantastic. Akira Toriyama's work is also just so well done, and you can see it in every game that I listed. Like his Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest would not be iconic without his animation. Chrono Trigger, when it was on the PlayStation, and I think it's coming to Nintendo Switch, his animation is just so iconic in Chrono Trigger. You can't see any other animation done differently than his work. Without him, he's an integral part for the Dragon Ball series. He's an integral part for Chrono Trigger. And it makes his games just so iconic because it's his distinctive art style. No, you can see developers try to copy his style, like Rogue Galaxy. Well, I wouldn't say Rogue Galaxy in terms of that game, but you get the idea of what I'm trying to make. So yeah, I think that's part 2. That's what kind of got, well, not my inspiration, of how I heard about it. It's because of Dragon Ball Z. I can't tell you any different. I didn't see his earlier work. Of course I didn't see Dr. Slump. I can't tell you that I've seen all his work. I would be lying. But I was in the high of Dragon Ball Z. Of course, I watched a good chunk of it. Except for the Cell Saga. That's unfortunate. That's on my bucket list. But still! Yeah, the guy just had such a profound and much of an impact on the anime community. Enough said. And to make this, and to conclude the video, yeah, he will be missed. Part 3, we'll just say part 3 of this video. I had to acknowledge Akira Toriyama, but I'm not the only one. He just had such an impact, and his character designs are just, they're influential. Other anime or manga writers or character designers just aspire for that art style. They can't like match it, and it's gonna suck going forward of what the Dragon Ball series, since they're doing another one, or basically Chrono Trigger or Blue Dragon or Dragon Quest. It's gonna be so different that they're gonna still. It can be 2 ways. Maybe there will be a tribute video for him, but it's gonna how hard. It won't be the same because you're always excited of what Akira Toriyama, his art style, or what his next project is gonna be. But now he's passed away. Yeah, it's just gonna leave a big hole. It'll just leave a big spot because these series would not be popular without him. So I think that concludes it. I'm excited of what the series will do without him, but he will be sorely missed just because he just left such an impact on the manga, anime, and video game community too. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And again, like I said, I'm not going for any likes, comment, or subscribers. I'm just telling you my personal thoughts because I wanted to go ahead and do a tribute video. I think it's worth acknowledging on that. This was as sad as when Kevin Conroy passed away too, or Lance Reddick, or he was just that iconic. So, well, R.I.P. Akira Toriyama, and guys, I will see you guys a little later today to kind of do the video and kind of discuss what's going to be the schedule, but we'll be back. I know, kind of a downer, and I'm sorry to kind of start it like that, but Yeah, sorry. I couldn't help it. Alright, well, let's actually go ahead and end this video this way. You know what?
I used a time machine to come back from Goku! Alright! Select your fighter!
Yeah, this is how we're gonna end it.
Select your fighter!
You know what? This is how we're gonna end it. Just because the OG of this series is gone. Alright. Well, there's only one way to end this. And I think it's very fitting that we end this. So we're gonna do a Meteor Smash for Akira Toriyama. If I can get the move right. I'm gonna try.
That's enough!
And that's one way to end it.